In October of 2012, we were blown away by one of the best albums of the 2010s, Good Kid, Mad City. The new rapper behind the album, Kendrick Lamar, quickly made it very clear that he was here to stay. Making its way onto all of our playlists, Kendrick's sound was unlike anything we had heard before. Creating one Grammy-nominated album is something most artists could only hope for, but the phenomenon didn't stop with Good Kid, Mad City because he followed up that album with two more masterpieces in To Pimp A Butterfly and Damn. Kendrick's heavy-hitting body of work had earned him the title of the best rapper of our generation from anyone who knows anything about music. So as we quickly approach the 3-year mark of no new Kendrick album, it leaves the big question looming over all of our heads. What happened to Kendrick Lamar? Kendrick Lamar Duckworth was born on June 17, 1987 in Compton, California. As you can imagine, being raised in Compton, Kendrick grew up in poverty, Section 8 housing, welfare, surrounded by gang violence and drugs. It would be a miracle for a kid to make it out of Compton, especially in the 90s. But apparently, throughout most of grade school, Kendrick was a straight-A student. He was quiet and was heavily into writing and reading, especially when it came to poems. But when Kendrick was in high school, he decided it was time to take his literature off the paper and turn it into songs. In 2004, he came up with the stage name K-Dot and put out his first mixtape at the age of 16. Now, since this is 2004, the internet was not what it is today, so his mixtape wasn't available worldwide or even countrywide, really just within Compton and the surrounding area. But those who did get the chance to hear early K-Dot loved it. They loved it so much that he quickly got a record deal with the new indie record label, TDE, Top Dog Entertainment. Kendrick continued rising up from Compton throughout the 2000s, working alongside other rappers from the area like J-Rock, Schoolboy Q, and The Game. Around 2008, he even got the co-sign of Lil Wayne, which was arguably the biggest rapper at the time. But being from Compton, he also got the attention of the music legend Dr. Dre. He took Kendrick under his wing and helped guide him through the tricky game known as the music industry. In 2010, Kendrick dropped his last mixtape under the name K-Dot, Overly Dedicated. From that point forward, he went with his first and middle name, Kendrick Lamar. Now, I am skipping over some stuff as I go because there's a lot with Kendrick. He's worked with a ton of different artists throughout his career, but I want to keep it moving because this isn't supposed to be a full-blown Kendrick Lamar biography. I'm just giving you some context because it's rather important when it comes to understanding the twists and turns in someone's career that led to the decisions they made later on and where they currently stand. So bear with me. In 2011, Kendrick appeared on the cover of XXL's freshman class, where his most notable classmates were Meek Mill and the late Mac Miller. That summer, he released his first studio album, Section 80. Section 80 was essentially Kendrick's commentary on what it's like to grow up as a black kid in Compton during the 1980s. The biggest hits being ADHD, The Spiteful Chant, and High Power, which was produced by J. Cole and was the first time the soon-to-be heavy hitters would work together. The overarching theme of Section 80 was the effect that drugs had on the kids of his generation. Not just the drugs themselves, but everything that comes with them. The drama, the violence, the highs and the lows, and everything that came with Ronald Reagan's war on drugs. The album was met with great critical acclaim, but didn't draw a large amount of attention from the mainstream public. A lot of people didn't really know who Kendrick was at the time, and it wasn't an album to have radio hits. Section 80 was really a stepping stone for Kendrick. Since it was his first studio album, would he be able to keep it 100% real in all of his songs? Would the subject matter work? And would he need to go quote-unquote pop? Even though early on it wasn't considered a huge commercial or viral success, it did eventually go gold in 2017. It was a great critical success. Seeing that people who quote-unquote know music loved his album, that was all he needed to know to start working on his next project. About a year later, after a musical whirlwind of working with a bunch of huge artists, he signed with Interscope Records. Kendrick was no longer an independent artist. Between signing with Interscope, working alongside an array of different rappers over those few years, the critical acclaim of his last project, it was the perfect time to release his next album, Good Kid, Mad City. The album that put Kendrick Lamar on the map sold over 240,000 copies in the first week. It was jam-packed with hits like Swimming Pools, Poetic Justice, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, Money Trees, Mad City, basically the entire album. Good Kid, Mad City was like Kendrick stringing together the story of what it was like to be a teenager in Compton, from the lyrics to the ongoing storyline that was taking place at the tail end of every song. 9 months after its release, Good Kid, Mad City had gone platinum. Kendrick had assembled one of the greatest albums of the 2010s. Good Kid, Mad City was a complete masterpiece. Moving forward to 2014, one of the biggest robberies in history took place at the 56th Grammy Awards. Kendrick was nominated for 7 different categories and didn't win any of them. The most egregious was Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's The Heist winning Rap Album of the Year over Good Kid, Mad City. But Kendrick didn't let any of that nonsense slow him down. Over the next couple years, he released To Pimp a Butterfly and Untitled Unmastered. To Pimp a Butterfly was a complete work of art that went on to break multiple records and win 5 Grammy Awards for Kendrick. And yes, one of which was Best Rap Album. Untitled Unmastered contained 8 songs that didn't make the cut for To Pimp a Butterfly. But Kendrick still wanted to release the tracks in their raw, sort of project state. At this point in Kendrick's career, he had already created 2 timeless masterpieces with Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly, something that most artists could only dream of doing. But somehow, the immense success didn't stop there. In 2017, he released what I personally think is his best album, Damn. Containing 14 songs that carried an almost Old Testament biblical feel, Damn was absolutely incredible. The entire album could also be played in reverse for just as good, if not a better experience, which is hinted at the tail end of the very last song, Duckworth. Damn ended up going platinum in less than a month, won 5 more Grammys for Kendrick, and won the Pulitzer Prize for Music, which is the first time a non-jazz or classical artist has won that award. Now, to round his backstory out, the following year he dropped Black Panther, the album, which was the official soundtrack for the Marvel movie, another work of art. And that was really the last we got from Kendrick. So what happened next? Well, Kendrick isn't your average 2020 artist and lives his life in this thing called private. I know that's a foreign idea for a lot of you who think that if it didn't happen on social media, it didn't happen at all. So he doesn't spend every day updating the world on every move he's making. In 2018, he was in an episode of the show Power, but that didn't kick off some big acting career for him. Clearly, it was more of something for him to just try out at the time. Then, last summer, Kendrick and his wife, or fiance, I'm not sure if they're married yet, but they had their first child and welcomed a baby girl to their family. Now, if we go back just a bit to the Black Panther album, on the song Redemption Interlude, one of the credited writers and producers is Hakeem Carter Jr., better known as the new artist, Baby Keem. Baby Keem is actually Kendrick's cousin, which I'm sure is part of the reason why he got the opportunity to work with Kendrick in the first place. But Kendrick has more or less been helping guide Baby Keem with his budding music career over these past couple of years. And it's definitely a help that's worthwhile because Baby Keem is one of the best new artists out there, and it's earned him a spot on this year's XXL freshman class. And just earlier this year, Kendrick Lamar teamed up with Dave Free to create a new company, PG Lang, which in their own words, is at service to creators and projects that selflessly speak with and for the shared experiences that connect us all. So between starting a new company, becoming a father, and helping Baby Keem with his career as a new artist, Kendrick has a lot on his plate. The great news is, that doesn't mean he's not working on any new music. In fact, everything is pointing to the complete opposite. He interviewed Keem in October for the 40th anniversary of ID, and in that interview, Kendrick said, "That's what will take me so long to do album. I spend the whole year just thinking about how I'm going to execute a new sound. I can't do the same thing over and over. I need something to get me excited. So clearly, Kendrick takes his time with his albums. It's just this next one has required more time with everything that he has going on in his life, coming up with the reinvented sound for the next project, and a global pandemic. There was big speculation that his next album would be released this year, but here we are in December, and I'd highly doubt it's happening in 2020 at this point. Maybe that was his plan originally, but because of this pandemic putting a pause on everything, combined with his desire to not rush anything, 2020 just doesn't seem to have a new Kendrick album in the cards. But to give some proof behind the idea that he's closing in on a release date for his next album, back in September, he was seen in LA shooting different scenes for what's presumably music videos. Combine that with the political climate in America since DAMN in 2017, I think it's safe to say we're in for a real treat in 2021. So no, Kendrick Lamar isn't quitting the rap game. He's living his life and working on evolving his sound even further to hit this brand new decade with another masterpiece and remind the world who the best rapper of our generation truly is. Thanks for watching this episode of What Happened To. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out my What Happened To playlist, which features other artists, actors, and even a theme park. Big props to you for watching the whole video. I'll talk to you all in the next one. Peace. The most egregious was Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's The Heist winning Rap Album of the Year over Good Kid, Mad. Okay. This damn oven.